Hello, I'm Natasha Hussein, and this is Newsfeed, your dose of what people are talking about online. And ironically, one thing the internet is talking about right now is celebrities' silence on Gaza. 7 months into Israel's war on Gaza, netizens have had enough of some celebs' failure to use their massive platforms and influence to draw attention to the tragic plight of the Palestinians. This has led to a huge campaign to block celebrity accounts under a movement called #Blockout 2024. The aim to hit celebrities where it hurts their wallets. Blocking celebs and brands linked to them disrupt their ad revenue.
It's time for the people to conduct what I want to call a digital guillotine, a digitine, if you will. It's time to block all the celebrities, influencers, and wealthy socialites who are not using their resources to help those in dire need.
Why did we choose blocking, not just unfollowing? Because when you simply unfollow someone, their content can still reach you, and that means that they can still make a profit or ad revenue off of your views or your engagement.
We have full control over celebrities' money and lives. When we hate on them, they make money. When we praise them, they make money. But when we block their social media accounts and completely forget their names, they lose it all. The amount of attention we give them and the amount of engagement we give them is their direct currency. Take it from them.
Unfollowing and blocking celebrities, what it actually does, I'm a 15-year marketer, and I will tell you, everyone's saying, oh, they'll just buy more followers. But those people don't understand that followers are just a small fraction of what advertisers actually look for. When they're selling themselves to advertisers, yeah, the follower count is on there, but do you know what else is on there? Engagement, sentiment. Yes, they measure if the comments are largely positive, negative, or neutral. They're measuring all of that. Your reach and your resonance. They're measuring all kinds of stuff. So they can buy more followers. But those followers, those fake followers that they're buying those from those accounts overseas, are not going to be giving them the other stuff that you guys are.
The block party, as I like to call it now, began gathering steam during last week's Met Gala, where celebs' excessive luxury and opulence was on full display in New York. A crude juxtaposition to the airstrikes happening at that very moment on Gaza, as pro-Palestine protesters were pointing out near the Met Gala venue. Frustrated by celebrities' apparent apathy, users have been sharing daily lists of which stars to block.
Today's blocks of the day are 1. Jimmy Fallon, 2. Selena Gomez, 3. The Rock. Go to Spotify, go to TikTok, go to Instagram. Locked.
Part 2 of a list of celebrities you should be blocking this week with obvious reasons unless you've been living under a rock. Okay, next on the chopping block is J-Lo.
You guys asked for the celebrity block list. I'm just starting with 3 that I think are good to start with because of the fact that some people are overwhelmed, and I feel like some people don't even know why we're doing this. We're doing this because we want to show that when we come together as a community, that the power of the people standing together is stronger than the people that are in power. So here are my first 3, okay? I'm picking the Kardashians. You can start with Kim. I'm going to go ahead and do all of them. The family, all of them.
And the online boycotts have started to bite. Since the start of #Blockout, our producer Lara has been tracking celebrities' follower counts.
As of the time of recording, actress and singer Selena Gomez has seen her Instagram followers drop by over 1 million. Zendaya, who's been everywhere lately with her standout performances in Dune 2 and Challengers, and her killer press tour outfits, has lost more than 273,000 followers. Even she wasn't immune to the blockout. Reality TV star and businesswoman Kim Kardashian took a hit with 860,000 fewer Instagram followers. Looks like her empire isn't as unshakable as she thought. Her sister Kylie Jenner lost 565,000 followers. Yep, the lip kit queen has some work to do. Even the globally celebrated singer Beyoncé wasn't spared, losing 689,000 followers on Instagram. Well, the bad guy had a bad day. Singer-songwriter Billie Eilish saw a drop of 1.1 million followers, making her one of the celebs experiencing major follower loss. But the biggest shocker, Taylor Swift lost a staggering 5 million followers overnight. I guess some Swifties aren't so loyal after all.
We're now joined by tech journalist Chris Stokel-Walker. Now, Chris, a lot of people online are confused. How exactly does blocking celebrities hit their wallets?
Well, many celebrities can make money from attention and from interest by their fan base. And so if you manage to reduce that fan base and if you reduce the engagement that people have with their posts, whether it's Instagram photos, YouTube videos, posts on TikTok or elsewhere, then that means that those celebrities are less able to earn money from those brands that they have previously done so. So this is essentially people walking out en masse from a theatre midway through a performance, the sort of digital equivalent of that. Although whether or not that will actually matter in the long run, whether that will stay and continue to be an issue, or whether it's just a temporary blip, I think is yet to be seen.
Now, there's been some criticism that these sort of boycotts and movements like Operation Watermelon are essentially cyberbullying and promoting cancel culture. Now, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, there was a really interesting example from the Met Gala that just happened recently of an individual who, is relatively small in the world of celebrities, was on the red carpet and had been singled out because they hadn't posted anything either in favor of or against either side in the conflict. And, you have to bear in mind that many of these celebrities either will not have a settled view on this, or they will have a strong view that they choose not to make public, and demanding that people who often aren't always hugely in the public eye come out in favor of one side or the other can be quite unfair. And I think that it is worth pointing out that yes, there are some celebrities and some individuals that we might expect and hope to have a view on this and to try and speak out about it. But then also, sometimes silence doesn't actually mean that someone is taking one side or the other. It just means that they maybe don't know enough about the conflict. And so it's worth respecting that. I think sadly what often happens on the internet is people get very het up about this, they get very excited about it, and there is an element of mob pylons here.
So I've had a healthy debate with my colleagues, and if celebs are actually the right people to be targeting, now should Blockout actually be targeting politicians?
Yeah, and this is the fundamental question, which is ultimately what is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson or somebody else going to do about the situation in the Middle East? Probably not an awful lot. They don't necessarily hold sway. I think one of the reasons why they are chosen is that they are the cultural touchstones. They are the people who rely on the support of individuals. But yes, having a targeted approach towards politicians may well end up being more fruitful in terms of convincing people, because ultimately politicians, like celebrities, are answerable to the public. And more importantly, in 2024, we have an awful number of elections happening around the world, and they ultimately need to be re-elected if they want to continue to do their work. So maybe in this instance, you could use these campaigns as a sort of warning that if you don't follow what we do on social media, then we'll start to take it to the ballot box, and that will have bigger ramifications for you.
Thanks, Chris, for sharing those insights with Newsfeed today.
Thank you.
To another conflict where U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken made a surprise visit to war-torn Kyiv. It's been more than 2 years since Russia launched its military offensive in Ukraine, and the war looks set to continue for some time yet. While Blinken has pledged the U.S.'s unwavering support, Kyiv, like Moscow, is struggling to recruit more soldiers.
Both sides are engaged in a race to find more people and more equipment and more ammunition and train better in order to try and break through on the battlefield, which I think won't be possible much before early to mid 2025. And in that race, to be honest, the initiative has now, in a small way, passed to Russia.
You are fired. You have 1 hour to get to the military recruitment point. If you don't, you'll have a criminal case against you.
I have friends who are fighting now, also young, and they are also tired and want to rest. The mobilization is needed. This is the most important thing, and the mobilization is definitely needed.
Є села, які фактично із сірої зони стали зоною ведення бойових дій, і окупант намагається.
TikTok's troubles in the US aren't going away just yet, and the company is using a familiar playbook to object to a forced sale. The social media firm is funding TikTok creators to sue the US government again, similar to its winning strategy in challenging a federal ban back in 2020. The group of 8 TikTokers filing the suit are as diverse as they come. They're from different states and put out different types of content, from beauty to ranching. The Unlikely Band argue that they found their audiences on the app and the ban deprives them of their First Amendment rights. Their complaints are similar to the free speech arguments TikTok made in a separate case filed last week.
I'm suing the United States government. A little less than an hour ago, myself and 7 other petitioners, all U.S. creators, filed a lawsuit against the U.S. Attorney General in regards to the TikTok ban that was passed a little less than a month ago for infringing upon our First Amendment rights. Doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum you are on, this infringes on everyone's free speech issues. So many people forget that our First Amendment right is not just about the ability to say whatever we want, but it's also about our ability to listen and intake whatever information we want to, and get that information from whatever sources we want to, no matter what our government thinks about it. The other plaintiffs in this lawsuit are from every background, every political affiliation, because it is not a political issue. This affects every single American that cares about free speech and their First Amendment rights. I hope for your support, and I hope you give that same support to my fellow creators, because we have a long journey ahead. United States government, you've been served.
OpenAI has a new iteration of its chatbot out now, and it sounds eerily human.
In a few minutes, I'm going to be interviewing at OpenAI. Have you heard of them?
OpenAI? Huh? Sounds vaguely familiar. Kidding, of course. That's incredible, Rocky. What kind of interview?
Well, it's for a software engineering role, but I just need to know, do I look presentable, professional?
Well, Rocky, you definitely have the I've been coding all night look down, which could actually work in your favor. Maybe just run a hand through your hair or lean into the mad genius vibe.
Incredibly lifelike. Now, the company demonstrated the capabilities of its new bot in a live stream on Monday, where ChatGPT was shown translating languages, analyzing code, and even identifying emotions. GPT-4o is multimodal, meaning it can understand and respond with voice, images, and text. The updated chatbot is now available for free to all users.
The internet's kind of freaking out, drawing comparisons to the movie Her, but it seems like that was the inspo.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey there, it's going great. How about you? I see you're rocking an OpenAI hoodie. Nice choice.
Okay, so here's what's different about this model compared to previous models. It has been trained on images, audio, and video from scratch, all at the same time. Which is why it has human-level response rates when it comes to interacting with audio and processing video and understanding what's going on around you.
So what's the first step I should take to try to solve this?
The first step is to get all the terms with X on one side and the
io mi chiedo se le balene potessero parlare, cosa ci direbbero?
Mike, She wonders if whales could talk, what would they tell us?
Now, the actual level of intelligence of the model isn't different from GPT-4, so it's still going to hallucinate and make stuff up. But as the company says, we are moving closer to more natural human-machine interactions. But this is also where some of the risks lie, and where I express a lot of concern. Because the more human-like these systems sound and intentionally seem, the more emotional dependencies and attachments humans may form with them. And that leaves us vulnerable to manipulation and all sorts of other things.
Not gonna lie, that creeps me out a little bit. And that's our show. Find our latest stuff on YouTube and do subscribe to our channel. See you soon.